NFL Daily is bringing you coverage from the NFL Scouting Combine all a week long from Indianapolis. We have a team of correspondents on the scene and giving you the latest reaction and news and rumors that you need to know leading up to the NFL Draft. We are your combine and off-season headquarters here at NFL Daily. Bosses want to know, can we get 20 subscribers off today's video? Because if we do, we'll bring you even more content than ever before. Subscribe now for free, and we'll get started with today's show. Glad to have you with us here on this edition of NFL Daily, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here as Mel Kiper Jr., ESPN senior draft analyst, has a brand new mock draft out, his second of the year. And on today's show, we'll run through all 32 picks of the first round and react to them. Let's go ahead and get started. No surprise, the Chicago Bears mock to select Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC. And then at number 2, Mel projects Jayden Daniels, quarterback from LSU, to go to the Washington Commanders, which is interesting because for the longest time, everybody was talking about Drake Maye as the presumed number 2 quarterback, but after a fantastic season that Daniels had, winning the Heisman Trophy, he has seen his stock soar quite a bit. Then you go to number 3, and that's where we find Drake Maye going to New England. He doesn't fall very far, but the New England Patriots, with a new head coach, Drake Maye, they find their next quarterback to replace Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi and go with somebody that has been on the radar of NFL scouts all the way back to his high school days. He was actually coached by Josh McCown back in the day, and now here he is after a successful tenure with the North Carolina Tar Heels under Mac Brown, finding his way to New England. Who's the better quarterback between these two? Is it Jayden Daniels or is it Drake Maye? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in. Tell us what you think. Type JD for Jayden Daniels. Type DM for Drake Maye, and let us know what you think. At number 4, we find the best receiver in this draft class, Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Ohio State, going to the Arizona Cardinals to join Kyler Murray and that offense out there. The first offensive lineman on the board is J.C. Latham out of the University of Alabama. He goes to the L.A. Chargers to provide some much-needed protection for quarterback Justin Herbert and new head coach Jim Harbaugh there in L.A. Number 6, we find Rome Odunze, wide receiver from the University of Washington, going to the New York Football Giants. While at 7, the Tennessee Titans, they take offensive tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons, they're looking at veteran quarterback options, so likely going with a non-quarterback, and they do so in this case in Kiper's mock with Dallas Turner, the outside linebacker out of Alabama. 9, the Bears, they go receiver as they get a weapon for Caleb Williams and go with Malik Nabers, the wideout out of LSU. And then rounding out the top 10 is Brock Bowers out of the University of Georgia, and we've seen mocks kind of all over the place with Brock. As high as top 5. We've even seen him fall out of the top 15. But this one helps out quarterback Aaron Rodgers, a dynamic weapon for that offense, the best tight end prospect we've seen in a very long time, going to the New York Jets at 10. More picks to get to in just a bit, but let's ask you, will Brock Bowers get picked in the top 10 as Mel is projecting here? I think he should. I don't know if he will, though. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no, if Brock's going to be a top 10 pick or not. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. And we're offering a $100 deposit match on your first entry. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. PrizePicks even offers injury insurance so that your injuries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player projection won't count against you, and the rest of your entry stays live. Now, I got to tell you, I've had a lot of luck lately with NASCAR on PrizePicks, but I'm looking ahead to the Combine. You can even play PrizePicks on the Combine this weekend. Jayden Daniels, I think he can run faster than a 4.52 40. I think he's going to break that. Meanwhile, Amarius Mims, the offensive lineman, I got him having less than a 5.28 40 time. I hope he can run faster than that. Play along with me. I put $20 down on this, and I'm going to make $60. You can win some money, too, at prizepicks.com/SailItS. Promo code SailItS for a $100 deposit match. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Number 11, we find Jared Verse, the defensive end from Florida State, going to the Minnesota Vikings. Well, at 12, the Broncos replace Russell Wilson with J.J. McCarthy, the national champion-winning quarterback out of Michigan. It's interesting with J.J., yeah, he's won a national title. He threw for over 70%, was a very good runner, but he's never been asked to do a ton. So how good is J.J. McCarthy really? That remains to be seen. 13, the Raiders go defensive tackle. The eyes of Texas are upon Byron Murphy with the selection. Some much-needed help for that Raiders defense. Wall Olu, the offensive tackle from Penn State. He's headed to the New Orleans Saints at number 14. 15, the Indianapolis Colts. They go corner. That's where we find Terrion Arnold from the University of Alabama. Meanwhile, at 16, staying home is Troy Faltanu, the offensive guard from the University of Washington. The Seahawks need a lot of help on that offensive line, specifically in the interior. And as they bring in a new offensive coordinator, not just new head coach Mike McDonald, but Ryan Grubb. He coached Faltanu at Washington, so some familiarity with that scheme there. 17, the Jags go corner. That's where we find Quinion Mitchell, the corner out of Holy Toledo with the pick. Meanwhile, at 18, the Cincinnati Bengals get some much-needed help on the offensive line at the tackle spot as we find Talise Falgoa with the pick there to Cincy out of Oregon State. 19, the LA Rams, they go corner as we find them selecting Cooper DeJean out of the University of Iowa with the selection. And then at 20, Nate Wiggins, the corner from Clemson, he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. At 21, the Miami Dolphins, they get some help at center. They go Graham Barton out of Duke. While 22, Latu goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, the outside linebacker out of UCLA. 23, Tyler Guyton. This guy's a big hog molly, stands at 6'7". He goes to the Houston Texans there out of Oklahoma. 24, Amarius Mims. He was in our prize picks earlier, offensive tackle out of Georgia. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys at 24. Another offensive tackle off the board. 3 in a row as we find Jordan Morgan out of the University of Arizona going to the Green Bay Packers at 25. Still more picks to go throughout this first round, but want to know, who is your favorite prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft? Give me a name that comes to mind. Maybe it's from your favorite school or somebody you want to see on your favorite team. Way in the comment section, let us know. A couple more for you here. At 26, Keon Coleman, wide receiver from Florida State. He stays within the state of Florida, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 26. Darius Robinson, defensive lineman from Mizzou. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals at 27 with the Cardinals' second pick of the first round. Meanwhile, the Bills, they get some receiver help. Not sure what they're going to do about Stephon Diggs, but they do bring in Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU, who has seen his stock kind of slip the last several weeks. Meanwhile, 29, the Detroit Lions, they go corner, TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. And then, to wrap up the final 3 picks, Kamari Lassiter, corner from Georgia, goes to the Baltimore Ravens at 30. Chop Robinson, the best name in the draft, he goes to Penn State. From Penn State, he goes to the San Francisco 49ers at 31. And then Xavier Worthy from Texas goes to the Kansas City Chiefs at 32. Some much-needed receiver help for Patrick Mahomes there in KC. How would you grade Mel's mock draft? It's not bad. I'd give about an A- or B+ personally. We're going to go over some names that did not make the first-round mock draft in just a moment, but want to hear your grades. Let us know. Some notable prospects not in the Kiper mock include Bo Nix out of Oregon, Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington, Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. Mel had him in his top 15 in his previous mock. Kool-Aid McKinstry, the corner out of Alabama, not on the list. And Adonai Mitchell, the wide receiver out of Texas. More people are putting Mitchell in ahead of Worthy, so that was a bit of a surprise there. You got to think at least one of those receivers will go first round, though, from Texas. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily. Subscribe now for free, and we'll see you next time.